What up? This is Izzarp, and this is actually my first broadcast of NHL 15. Also the first time I'm using a microphone. So, I thought it'd be interesting and profanity laden. So, what I'm going to be doing here is, with all the news about the Leafs recently, you know, them going into a rebuild mode, you know, getting permission from the or authorization from the team president to enter a full rebuild. You know, there's an article today in the Hockey News about how this is going to be a 5-year plan. I think I'm intrigued by this. You know, I like the city of Toronto. It's a great place to visit, and the Leafs are a historic franchise, so we're gonna get right into this and see what we can do with this team. I mean, they've got a lot of assets that are available for trade, are available for you know, and they got some good prospects. So we'll see what we can do in 5 years. That's gonna be the plan. Let's see if the Hockey News is correct about the estimate they're throwing around, because you know, sometimes these things work out and sometimes they don't. You know, look at Edmonton. You know, it's a great example. But all right, so let's get right into this here. You know, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with the assistant GM, because Nonis is probably gonna get fired after this season, and they brought this guy in this off season. Shanahan did. You know, he's got a real young guy, and he's got a heavy stats background. He's real big into the analytics, which is why they went and got Metcalf from Extra Skater to help him out in that category. So we're gonna go with Kyle Dubas as the GM, because who knows? He'll probably be the GM. And Leafs. Oh yeah, so yeah, there's no way I have enough time to play all these games. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of sim. You know, I have to restrain myself if I make it to the Cup, and you know, it's a 3-3 series tie of playing Game 7. But I think we should be all right. Just doing the sim thing here. So you can see, you know, top players: Kessel, Van Riemsdyk, Bozak. Let me take a look at these rules real quick here. So yeah, I'm gonna leave a lot of this the same, because I am gonna be simming. If I was gonna be playing this, I might, you know, I might tinker with this a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave the settings alone. And yeah, we want salary cap, and let's get this party started here. Yeah, we're gonna keep that. Alright, let me just make sure this is all working okay here. I think everything looks alright. Like I said, this is I've done broadcasts before, but this is the first time I've used a microphone, and yeah, I'm not too sure if this is actually working or not. So I guess we'll find out. So I'm in here just gonna check out some of the contracts to start. Because, you know, I'm looking for guys that, you know, I'm looking for long-term solutions here. I'm not looking for these quick fix guys. I mean, that's been sort of the model the Leafs have been following, and it hasn't really gotten them anywhere. I mean, let's be honest. Aside from that really good run they put up against Boston a few years ago in the playoffs, and you know, the bad luck that followed, there's nothing gets accomplished, you know, as far as championships go or deep playoff runs, if you sign guys like David Clarkson. I mean, that was a huge investment. And you know, I was reading these articles this morning about this, and you know, they talked about how there's only 2 homegrown players on the Leafs. I mean, 2 guys who got drafted, went through the system, you know, through the Marlies, and start, and that's a problem. And one of the guys, Kadri, I mean, his name's been getting floated around as a possible, you know, trade bait. So I don't know. I mean, you look at teams like Detroit, you look at teams like Anaheim, you look at teams that tend to be more successful, consistently successful. You know, you look at Chicago, you look at San Jose. I mean, these teams just, you build from within. I mean, the Islanders this year are a great example of that. A team that is built through the draft, over time. So yeah, first thing I'm doing here is I'm just gonna take a look, and I really want to see how I want to build this, because in order to make this sustainable, you know, I'm going to have to unload some of this cap. The team is way too close to the cap, and I do want to make some free agent signings. I just want to make smarter free agent signings, or, you know, make some trades for guys that have a lot of years left on the contract, in order to kind of lock these guys in. So, you know, Bozak, I know the team is actually not, you know, the team's not too happy with him for whatever reason. You know, he's a name that's been getting floated around, but 4.2, you know, for the next 4 years, that for a second line center, you know, I have a hard time moving somebody like that. I mean, he's good. He's a good defensive player. You know, he's good with the puck. He might not be the best offensive guy or, you know, the biggest checker, but, you know, I think he has a lot to offer. I want to keep him penciled in that number 2 spot. I don't know if he's going to be a number 1 center. I would prefer him not to be, but, you know, he's a number 2 guy, and for $4.2 million, I can live with that. I mean, it's a better contract than Dubinsky got, as far as the cap hit goes, and Dubinsky and Bozak both have a lot of quality, so I think he's a good 2C. We'll see where that goes. You know, Kadri's the big one, though. I mean, 2.9. He's a UFA at the end, or an RFA at the end of this year, and that means I can match offers. But I don't know. You know, I'd like to pencil in Kadri as the number 1 guy. So I think that's probably the way to go for now, because again, I mean, it's a rebuild, but, you know, Kadri's and Bozak are both younger guys. You know, Kadri in particular, he's got a high upside, so I'd like to see what I can do, kind of keep him in that number 1 role for now. And, you know, if I offer him a qualifying offer and I can get a couple picks by matching another team's offer, then yeah, we'll see where it goes. You know, if he's asking for too much money in the offseason. But for right now, let's keep him in the number 1. Let's keep Bozak in the number 2. I think those 2 guys are good to build around. Komarov, I don't understand this. I mean, I know they liked him on their 3rd line a few years ago, but bringing him back, first of all, they got him listed as a center. This guy, you know, 60 face-off, I can't stand that. I mean, even Sim, you know, obviously playing, I like to have guys that are at least 75 in the face-off, but I mean, even for the Sim, almost $3 million a year for this guy. He's 27, and he's locked up for the next 4 years. For a 3rd line guy who's not great at winning faceoffs, I think he's gonna have to be on the block. So I think for sure Komarov is. I mean, I don't know what his trade value is gonna be, but I think you might as well just consider him right on the block. Same thing goes for you know, Santorelli. I don't know. I mean, I think Santorelli's a decent guy. I mean, even though the Leafs just traded him, and they haven't updated the rosters yet. You know, he's alright in the face-offs. He's got got some good puck skills. Not the most physical guy, but you know, I can deal with him in that third line role. So for $1.5 million this year, we'll see what he does. Yeah, if he sucks, we'll just let him go, because I'm sure his trade value is not that good. I mean, if it is, maybe we can make a move, but if it's a low trade value, we'll leave him in that 3 or 4C role. You know, Holland's another guy. I mean, he's so bad in the face-offs, and I don't quite understand, you know, but it's a sim. I might just ride this one out because he's a real young guy. I think he's got, you know, they got him listed as a medium potential, but you know, for less than $1 million, I might hold on to him. I mean, worst case scenario, he's a healthy scratch guy I can bring in if we lose, you know, if we lose a center to injury or whatnot. So, I mean, that's it. I mean, Smith, I mean, Smith's another guy. It's like, what do you do with him? He's kind of an AHL guy. You know, I'd probably just move him down or just let him walk at the end of the year. I'm sure his trade value is pretty terrible. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, use him as a utility guy. But I don't know if I want him in my lineup every night. So, I mean, really, basically, I'm left with Kadri and Bozak and Santorelli as my 3. Which means I'm going to need a 4th line forward unless I want to play Holland in that role, which, I mean, that's not the worst guy to have. So, you know, I think the centers are okay. I mean, there's not a lot of work to do there. Maybe getting that 4th line guy. But other than that, I think it should be okay. You know, left wing, you know, Lupul, he's 31. He's locked up for the next 4 until he's 35. You know, Loops is a good secondary scorer. I hate to lose that on a team like the Leafs, especially when it comes to, you know, rebuilding. I mean, it's nice to have those guys, you know, those guys on the 2 and 3 lines that they can get it done. But I got to move him to that questionable, you know, move him to that trade block. I mean, I think Lupul's got some value right now. I think, you know, at 5 1/4, at 31 years old, he's only gonna regress. He's, you know, listed as an 86 overall, so it's like, you know, I imagine halfway through this contract he's probably gonna be losing value, probably down to like an 83 or 84. So if we're talking rebuild and we're talking value, there's teams that could use him a lot more than the Leafs. Van Riemsdyk, on the other hand, I mean, I got him for 4 at 4 1/4. He's only 25. I know they got him listed at medium potential to be an elite guy, but I think he for sure, he's a very important part of this team on that wing with Kadri. So I think JVR, he stays that top line for now. These other 2, I mean, Winnick and Booth, I mean, those are 3 and 4th line guys. So again, trade value is probably pretty terrible. They're both UFAs at the end of the year. I mean, the number I've heard floated around is the Leafs want 2 draft picks. I mean, for Winnick, in actuality, I mean, in reality, that's what they want is 2 draft picks for him. I don't even know what his trade value is in the game, but I could probably get 2 6 or 2 5ths for him. But I mean, I don't know what they're looking for in reality, but I could probably get better than 2 5th rounders for him. And to me, that's pointless. I mean, rebuild is about getting quality guys, getting those top, you know, top 3 round picks. You know, dumping a guy like this who's a depth guy, he's probably only going to want a million or so. I say leave him in the lineup. I mean, I watched him in Anaheim a lot last year. You know, when the games were on late, and I think he's a role player. He's a guy to have on that 3rd and 4th line. I think he works with Santorelli or whoever our 4th line guy is, and the same goes for Booth. I mean, not great. If either of these guys got trade value, I'm moving them. But